Hey guys, we're going to talk about something different today.
Yeah, the show if Superman was a real bastard.
Yeah, basically. Get ready. Here's our take on The Boys Season 3. Hello and welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And today we're going to be talking about The Boys Season 3. We just finished up watching Season 3. Yep. And we wanted to kind of gauge it and see if this is something you'd be interested in.
It's something that we're considering doing a deeper dive into the entire series of The Boys, the comic book of The Boys, more boys stuff. And we want to see if, put it out there, see, what do you guys think? Is it something you guys want to watch?
Right. If it is, great. Like the video, comment.
If not, we'll punt.
If not, then season 4 comes around, we'll just watch it and shut up.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. Either way, it's such a cool series, and it took me a while to get into it.
Yeah.
I had everybody tell me.
I was one of those everybody.
Yes. Chuck was one of those everybody. You have to watch The Boys.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to watch The Boys. And I resisted and I resisted, and I finally watched it, and I love it. I absolutely love The Boys. I think it's an amazing show.
Yeah, it's really great. It's more of a close look at how superheroes probably would more realistically be in real life.
Yeah.
And for me, just as an aside, not just season 3, it's part of it's tough for me because the main bad guy, main character, well, not really main character, main bad guy. He's it's an ensemble cast, so it's not really a main character.
Sure.
But the main bad guy, Homelander, is played by Anthony Starr. Who's one of my favorite actors in another show called Banshee.
Lucas Hood.
Who plays Lucas Hood,
yes.
And you love him. And then you watch this show, and he's just horrible.
Yes.
He's again, like I said in the open, he is like Superman without a conscience. He is Superman who just gives 0 Fs.
Yeah.
And
100%.
He's that's really exemplified even further in season 3.
Oh my God!
Homelander is just turns it up a notch. And you get to it, but it also makes for a great season.
It really does. And, Homelander exposes his one weakness, really, in season 3, aside from milk. And there's, of course.
Spoilers, by the way. We'll have that on I know it's on the thumbnail, but
a whole lot of spoilers.
Lots of spoilers. So if you haven't watched the whole season 3 of The Boys, you be warned that we're going to talk about everything.
We're going to get into it, for sure.
So go ahead.
What I was going to say is it really exposes his weakness, which is his son.
Well, his son, Homelander has daddy issues.
Yeah, well, and for good reason. I mean, we find that out later on in the season.
Let's talk about that in a bit. The first thing, we can start out, season 3, Homelander season 3. The Boys season 3 starts out roughly about a year after, shows you how big of a part of the show is. Starts about a year after the last season. You find Huey working for the government, basically Task Force Oversight Committee of Vought.
Yep.
Which is a huge contract, and you have Moff Gideon is running Vought, and or Gus Fring, however you prefer to look at him.
That doesn't end so well.
No, it doesn't. The people in charge who are in charge of the superheroes have, in this show historically, not done so well.
No.
Whether you have Elizabeth Shue,
sure.
Moff Gideon, or later you have Ashley in this season.
Yeah.
None of them fare so well.
Well, the only difference between Elizabeth Shue and Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Let's use his name.
He's really Gus Fring to me, but go ahead.
He's Gus Fring, sure. Is that Ashley at the very, very tail end kind of does a redeeming move.
She does, and that is the only thing, because none of the other two were really redeeming at all.
No, not at all. They were shitbags.
You can
Sorry
see
about the language.
You can see why a lot of these Vought characters are flawed, is because they're treated as commodities, right?
Sure, yeah.
And then that's just exemplified in season 3. You come to find out they introduce one of their original product that hasn't been in the show so far in his whole team, called Soldier Boy, who's like Captain America and the Winter Soldier combined with Superman's strength and invulnerability. So an amazingly scary character.
Oh, for sure. And can we take a second to talk about the performance of Jensen Ackles?
Oh, he's incredible.
He's so great.
Incredible.
In this. You said it as we were watching it, it made you want to watch Supernatural.
Yeah, which I've never watched because of how good of a job he did as Soldier Boy.
He's so good.
And no, they never play the song, which I kind of expect, especially given the revelation at the end of the series.
Of course.
But, he does a phenomenal job as Soldier Boy. And it's odd, again, to see, if Captain America was a jerk, this is kind of what you get.
That's exactly what you get. And you do mention, he's a cross between Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Superman. I mean, really.
He is, because he gets the Winter Soldier treatment.
He does.
By the Russians. You find out in season 3. You kind of half expect to see Baron Zemo in there going, gas station, book bag, electricity.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. And in fact, he ends up back in that situation.
On ice,
So, as a character, though, he's really cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he gets freed and they unintentionally free him, they actually think he's dead.
Yeah.
Was killed in like a reactor accident. Well, no, he ends up getting an additional superpower from that reactor incident where he can, if he shoots this blast at people, he can completely take away. If you're a soup, he'll just take away your power.
Right. And if you're a normal person, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Which happens a couple of times throughout the season. And it's, really, he's the ultimate weapon against Homelander, right?
He is. And that's what Butcher wants to use him as, right?
Right.
Because Butcher, if you guys have been watching the series, you know that Butcher can't stand Homelander because Homelander, basically, had sex with his wife. Butcher thinks he raped her, but he actually didn't.
Right.
It was consensual. And then they have a kid.
Well, and that doesn't make Homelander any better.
No, it doesn't make him any better, but it's the illusion, right, that Butcher has been giving himself to kind of justify it in his head and kind of, I think to him, kind of makes the hate that he has for him okay.
Sure. Well, and that's a great plot point, too, is because Butcher has hated Soups the entire series.
Yeah.
However, in this season, he finds an experimental drug called Temp V.
Maeve gives it to him. Yeah.
Maeve gives it to him.
Because she wants Homelander gone, too.
And you know what? Maeve's character arc throughout this series was great as well. Or through this season, I should say.
But yeah, this season in particular, it was great.
Yeah, and throughout the series as well. You know what? That comes from watching British TV. Where seasons are series. And so, in it screws me up. Either way, her arc throughout this season was really great. But again, going back to Butcher, his arc through this season is that he finds this Temp V through Maeve and becomes a soup himself.
And he likes it, but doesn't want to admit it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He likes it, but doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And even gets Huey involved in that too. And that, Huey, of course, causes some friction with Starlight, who is... I love you, Starlight.
Star, see tonight. Starlight, star bright. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it does. It causes friction there between the two of them because Huey actually really does like it.
He loves it.
Unabashedly.
Yeah.
He says it. But they find out that temporary compound V, if you take 3 to 5 doses, will kill you.
It'll kill you, yeah.
And Huey was right at like 2 or 3 and lived,
right at the cusp.
Butcher went beyond. And you find at the end he's got 18 months at most to live, theoretically.
Sure. Well, and what does he want to do with those 18 months? Kill Soups.
Oh, of course. Or the agency that is overseeing them. You know, another thing, and we'll get into that in a minute, but another thing that I really liked in this season, and I know we're jumping around and we didn't do episode by episode, so there's a lot here. So this is more of like a general overview of season 3 and discussion, and we'll do more later in depth is our goal, our plan, if you guys like it. But
if you like it.
In any event, one of the other overarching stories of season 3 that I really like is Kumiko and Frenchie's relationship. How the arc in this season was really great. And, you know, you see Kumiko in the other seasons is so tortured with her powers.
Yeah.
She hates him. Well, Soldier Boy takes them away.
And loses them, yeah.
And then she wants them back. And then she comes to accept who she is. Because who she is with that power.
Right.
And it's really cool. And you see how Frenchie gets torn apart by her getting hurt. And then he relapses into being like a party boy terrorist.
Well, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, exactly. But she pulls him back from that.
She does.
That's a really good. I love their relationship.
Yep.
Even though they do go into, a musical style number I think it was the third episode.
Yeah, they did. It was strange.
But you know what? That's what The Boys does. It plays with different genres.
It pushes the boundaries.
It pushes the boundaries, which brings me to the next one. I think
pushes the boundaries would be a tagline for the show. Pushes the boundaries.
100%. Which brings me to the next one, which is the development of Noir.
Yeah.
And Noir, we really there's no development for this character. He's just a badass that doesn't talk. So, yep. I mean, literally 0 lines whatsoever.
Yep.
But we get his entire backstory in this season. And he's off his rocker, man. He sees cartoons.
Yeah.
But they bring that in, and it's in such a way that it feels natural. It feels cool.
But you kind of find by the end of the season he's gutless.
Yeah, well, he is quite literally, unfortunately. But you know what? That's Homelander.
Yeah.
That's what Homelander does.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really great stuff in this season. And you know what? We just went 10 minutes without discussing Herogasm, which is the 6th episode of the season.
Which was a very big storyline that fans of the comic book were looking forward to.
Yes.
It was a really great episode in the season. I thought it was an awesome episode. I mean, it was pretty nasty.
It was nasty.
Part of it, when poor MM don't open that door, man. You don't want to know what's behind door number 1 because he found out and it was gross.
Yeah.
You guys, if you've watched it, you know. And it was, but that's again, pushing the boundaries, right?
Well, The Boys has no problem doing that. And quite frankly, I mean, you go back to episode 1 of this particular season and you get pushing the boundaries to no end.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, seriously, in the first, 11 minutes into the first episode, they took on a Thanos theory with Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's so gross.
It was one of those moments where
the Ant-Man theory for Thanos. Well, they did it.
They did it.
So
a little differently,
more disturbing,
way more disturbing,
and it was gross.
With The Boys, I wonder when they're going to make me say, "What the?"
Yeah, I know.
And it was 11 minutes into the first episode.
Time. Yeah, it's every episode. But that's part of part of the allure of the show. That's part of the reason why you watch it, because it's like if the MCU or the DCU was nasty.
Yeah.
I guess that's the word I'll use. Nasty.
That's exactly what it is, and each season gets progressively worse. And season 3 is
not worse in the way we don't like it, like worse of pushing the boundaries and filthy and. Actually, more realistic of what superheroes would probably be. I think we said that already, but I'm going to reiterate it. These characters act more like someone who is superpowered and other people probably would act.
Yeah. Oh, no, I completely
Human
agree.
nature. I mean, we see a lot of that this season, particularly reflects, without going too deeply into it because we don't want to get political, but it really reflects the political nature of our society right now. It
certainly does, yeah.
Quite a bit. So, again, if we do more episodes on this, we'll delve deeper into other topics in these seasons. So we just wanted to do a quick overview of season 3.
Exactly.
And that's what we've done.
I want to leave it at this. I'm going to share with you my most cringy moment of the season, one that really made me uncomfortable. And Chuck, I'll challenge you to do the same, but you don't have to.
Okay.
My most cringy moment was when the Deep was forced to eat
South Korean delicacy.
Timothy. It was. I had trouble watching.
Oh my god!
It made me cringe. It made me squirm. It made me. But ultimately, it dives into Homelander's character and how much of a bastard he is.
Oh, he is. He's a genuine.
But just watching that scene, it made me cringe like crazy. What you got?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to say that, because that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know per se cringeworthy, but there's a lot of disturbing things.
Sure.
I'm going to say that probably to me the most disturbing was the Thanos Ant-Man theory.
Sure.
Because it was a guy that went up a guy's pee hole and then exploded him from the inside
by sneezing.
And that was nasty. And that was early on. It was right in the beginning of the season.
Well, that's what we're talking about. It's 11 minutes into the first episode.
I think that's it for me. Either that or the deep, instead of eating an octopus this time, doing something else with the octopus.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the Deep he's the most pathetic character on the show.
Yeah, he's sad.
Without a doubt. And I mean, that's really a commentary on Aquaman, but it's...
And Namor will be like that too. Just when he comes in the MCU, kind of forever.
Of course,
it's going to be that way.
Of course. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I can talk too, by the way.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Who knows? Let us know what you think. Please
give us a like if you like what we do. They're free.
Likes are free. Give us a like. Let us know in the comments what you thought of The Boys, either the whole series or season 3.
Yeah. Do you want to see more coverage from us on The Boys?
Let us know, because we want to do more coverage. We love the show.
But if you guys don't like it, then we're not going to do it.
But in the meantime, you can always check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. We are out there. Share us with all your nerd friends so they can join in the party as well. And with that, we will say,
what's on your nerd card?